I just wanted to talk a little bit about the consequences of this call to lockdown and the panic that
Yeah,
it caused. I know, talking to people who live in Douala and you know they are in those parts of the world. You know, there's people were panic
yeah,
buying, meaning people were getting into markets and just buying up
done
everything.
everything. Yeah,
You know, which resulted to scarcity of commodities, foodstuff, you know, basic home commodities, which meant that the prices had to go up. I saw people talk about, you know, getting a gas bottle for 20,000, something which costed them
mm,
maybe 12,000 or so. So prices
right.
are going up just because the demand now is a lot more than the supply.
Yeah,
The fact that there's been a ghost, they called for the ghost town, or even prior to that, means trucks were not moving. So trucks
right.
leaving the port of Douala to every other part of Cameroon. I mean, there was a kind of a lockdown there. So the ports were open, so trucks were static and start, you know, so things ran out. And so prices got high. So at the end of the day, it is the masses, the poor masses who are left to deal with the consequences of an individual's desire for power. I mean, Issa Chiroma, wherever he is, I'm sure he's eating 3 square meals and
Right.
extras. I'm sure he has a bottle of wine. He's Muslim, maybe he doesn't drink. I'm sure he has clean water that he drinks. I'm sure
Yeah,
sleeps comfortable. There's lights, there's electricity, there's everything that he needs. Now, the people who he's calling on to come fight for him and defend him have to deal with the
yeah,
consequences. People have no money for food because they haven't gone to work, and you don't go to work, you don't get paid. It's not like in other parts of the world where, you know, you
yeah.
might get paid for missing a day or two. You don't go to work, you don't get paid.
You don't do it.
For
Yeah,
those who have to go out and fend for themselves, if you don't go to a charger, if you don't go to the park to charge a bus, you don't get
right.
paid. If you're a bentikine, if you're not out riding your bentikin, you don't get paid. If you're a taxi driver, if you're not out riding your cab, you don't get paid, right? So at the
Yeah,
end of the day, if you look at the impact on the common man on the street, that is where the impact is. And for me,
yeah,
that is the only reason why this is not going to last, because people are going to feel the impact. In the northwest and the southwest region is a little bit different, because there were Ambazonia forces who would come out once in a while and try
right.
and force people to respect the ghost town or to respect the
Mm,
lockdowns, right? For now, I don't think that is happening in the French speaking part of Cameroon. I don't believe that he has a group, a pressure group, or group of people who can go around and enforce the ghost town or enforce the lockdown, right? So it's just a matter of time. Again, it's day two, and day two has shown us that people are somewhat tired from day one. People are eager to go out and work, are eager to go out and open their markets and get back to business as usual. We will see how day three looks like. Day three is tomorrow. We will see how that looks like. You know, also the administrators, so the DOs and the mayors, and have been coming out and encouraging the people and
no doubt.
explaining the consequences of what this lockdown is going to do for them. Hey,
Right.
if you need to come out and sell. If you don't sell, you don't get money. Your neighbors need to come out and buy. If you don't open, your neighbors don't have anything to buy, right? So they are coming out and sensitizing in very peaceful manner in some parts. In other parts, again, forces of law and order are trying to prevent the looting and the stealing and the
Hmm.
destruction of property. But you know, administrators, mayors, they're coming out and trying to have a conversation with people. And again, that is how they beat. That is how they're going to beat
That's
whatever
not going to
strategy
do.
is
Right.
putting. Issa Chiroma is putting in place.
Yeah.
You know, areas where they need force, yeah, of course, the forces of law and order will go and deal with it. But in areas where it just requires a simple conversation, or you
Hmm.
know, elites coming out and having conversation and talking to their people, that is going to happen. And that is how this Camto strategy is going to be defeated, unless he has
Is that
more
Tchiroma?
under Issa Chiroma, sorry, unless he has something hidden under his sleeve, unless his joker has not been, his
Yeah.
cards are not all on the table. If this is his strategy, yeah, I don't see it
And,
going anywhere.
and, and, and then speaking of lessons that were learned from the Amber situation, do you know how long it took for people like Ekema and the government delegate Bamenda to come out and tell people that you have to come out and open your shops. If not, you're going to be fined and safe. It took them years, maybe
Hmm.
about 2 or 3 years, for them to be able to come up with that strategy.
Yeah.
For government to go out and sensitize the people that you have to open up your market. If you don't, we're going to shut down your shop. Um, um, but it's not happening. It's taking merely days, okay? And then these people are the government is already doing what Ekema was doing, that took Ekema maybe 2 or 3 years to do. And even Ekema was the lone wolf in the southwest, even pushing that, and then people could see that Boya was opening, Amba was losing control of Boya, they were losing control of Limbe and all those main cities in the southwest. But because when you take time, I think the government has learned it. When you take time to be able to make decisions like to be able to make or not make decisions like that, to get people working and going back to their business, riding their bike, opening their shops, selling their market and stuff like that, that's when this thing festers. That's when it gains oxygen. That's when it gains a life of its own, and then it grows into some monster that it becomes very difficult to control.
Hmm.
So, but I think the government has learned its lessons. They are out there, and the sensitization. Yeah, I've seen so many videos of the governor of Douala going out, the SEO going out and telling people to
Hmm.
open their shop, even buying stuff, and they're showing it
Hmm.
and stuff like that. Those are things that took like 3, 4 years in the north and southwest. So it made the Amazonian thing first time took up on a mission on its own. I would just became a different monster. So again, just to say, we are in different times. We've seen this play out before. The government
Hmm.
is acutely aware. Anybody who should be really aware of this is Issa Tchiroma. He should have known our government plans to be able to stop this same thing, because he right now is just doing the same Amber playbook. Like, it's literally the same. You try the ghost town, it works a few years and then begins to do it, and then you come and say, "Oh, it's succeeding." And people did not have as much internet back then, as much connection. But I don't think that strategy is necessarily going to work in 2025.
Hmm.
People are more acutely aware that the government not come to solve their problems. Those who claim to be fighting on their behalf will not solve the problems. So, the Cameroonians, the same thing. They just shock and go back, just go and live their regular lives.